I'm a bit strange. And I know I'm strange, it's just, you know, it's not something I have to deal with, and it's not something that I try to make happen. I'm just strange. I'm not a geek in that sense. I'm not a fully fledged geek because I don't know enough about computers or about other geeky stuff. But if you ask, for example, my brother, who's by no means any kind of a geek, he'd say I'm a total geek and a total computer nerd. But I take care of my body. I go to the gym, which is supposed to be something that geeks just don't do. I'm supposed to be drinking Coke all day and eating ramen noodles and eating shit out of the bag. You know, I'm not supposed to. I'm gonna do what I do. And it's a general thing with me. I tend to kind of be a little bit of everything. I'm kind of like, I'm all over the place. As a consequence, I don't entirely fit in anywhere. And it's kind of strange. It feels very weird, and sometimes I wish it wasn't like this. And other times I'm very happy I don't fit in when I see how stupid people can be. And it's kind of strange. I've been thinking a lot about this lately because I have some friends that I have a lot in common with, kind of superficially, you know, like movies and blah 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 blah. But once that's kind of over with, once that novelty is gone, I tend to kind of get, I tend to start looking at them in a very bad way. They might be funnier than me, in which case I'm pissed because someone who's kind of like me is funnier than me. That means he's basically like a funnier version of me. And then they might be not as funny as me, and then I constantly go around thinking that how stupid they are. Or they might have different outlooks on things like drinking. I don't drink much. And they say, hey, come to a party, we'll drink a bunch of fucking alcohol and get pissed. And I kind of go, I don't want to. That sounds like shit to me. I don't need to drink to feel like a dumbass. I do that all the time anyway. So it's kind of strange. And I've actually realised that I feel more at home with people I have very little in common with. Because I don't look for those things where I don't start to kind of compare myself to them or compare them to me. And I'm not as annoyed then when they do things differently from me. And it's kind of strange. And because ideally we make friends based on, you know, who they are on the bottom of everything. I mean, I love Nightmare Before Christmas, and I love Clockwork Orange, and I love The Big Lebowski, and Star Wars, and Lord of the Rings, and Harry Potter, and 2001: A Space Odyssey. But it's not really about that. It's about, you know, it's about more general things like more things that come underneath that don't go specifically on interests, but kind of world view. You know, the way that I look at eating meat. That's something I'll make a video on later. I'm not a vegetarian, and I'm not. I don't hardly ever eat meat, which is kind of strange to some people. But to me, it's completely natural. But I think so ideally we need to look for friends that aren't like us superficially, but underneath. But that's, of course, extremely difficult, because where do you start to look? I guess then the easiest thing is to start to look at the superficial things, because at least then if I find someone who likes Lord of the Rings and Nightmare Before Christmas and Clockwork Orange all at the same time, hey, maybe they're kind of like me. And sometimes, and a lot of the time actually, they're not. but you have something to talk about, at least for a little bit. So it's difficult. It's difficult to kind of find that balance. And I don't even know what I'm talking about. Yes. But yeah, you can't really start to look for that, and you can't start to... So I think basically, when we look for people to... We don't have to look for people to fit in with, but rather not exclude people from friendship because they're not into the same things as we are. We need to be more open about who we actually like to converse with and who we like to discuss with. Otherwise, you're just discussing with people who you already agree with. I'm touching so many topics here, and it's just shitty. I'm just all over the fucking place. Anyway, yes, and fitting in is a part of this, because people we do tend to look for friends superficially, which is why we exclude people who wear pink shirts or black leather boots, or who wear their hair in front of their eye, or people who don't wear their hair in front of their eye, or people who wear fucking jogging trousers when they're not even jogging, which I find kind of weird and annoying. But who the fuck what the fuck do I know about those people? And just because they're like that, it's an indication that maybe they're not within the same kind of social circle as me. But does that mean that they're unintelligent people, that I can't converse with them, that they don't have valid opinions? No! It doesn't fucking matter. We're all different in our own ways. And everyone's a bit kind of like me in a way, because everyone's a bit of everything. No one's completely one thing or the other. No one's completely a jock. And no one's completely a nerd. And no one's completely... Okay, some people are completely some things. And no one's completely a goth. Remember when goths were seen from the outside as the people who were just kind of dreary and angry and basically emos? Now emos are taking over that part, because goths have proven themselves to be actually quite a happy bunch and quite nice and not scary at all. So we need a new bunch of people with a dismal outlook on life and blah 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 blah. And it's all about generalizing, and I'm talking like an idiot, and I should just stop talking and upload this video and stop boring you to death. Next time I'll have a more clear and more concise video about eating meat. And eating meat sustainably. Doesn't that sound exciting? It'll be shorter than this, and more of a higgledy-piggledy ride from here to there and up and everywhere. Yes! Goodbye. This is Gustav, by the way. I pointed in the right direction. This is Gustav. I've had him since I was 10 years old. That's a map of the Discworld. Terry Pratchett, good stuff. This is a workout kit I bought at Oxfam or something for £3. Do I have anything else in the background? That's a gorilla pod. That's a plastic bag! That's a plastic bag! Wow, amazing. Oxford bags. Peace and love, babies.